Hi guys. It's 12:35 a.m. Couldn't sleep. I've been in there watching The Wild Wild West. The series, not the movie. I just love it. Very entertaining. So, what are you doing? I was sitting here flipping through some videos and that, cracking up, watching some silly dogs and cats and kids. So, yeah, trying to avoid that political stuff. It keeps coming up, but, you know, trying to be careful what I feed my brain. So, it's going to be one of those nights. Can't sleep. The problem is I took a long nap today. So, thing about it is it kind of throws me off schedule because Cheryl will be here about 9. And then I got to go have a CT scan, I think. Yeah. And I gotta go drop some other paperwork off. There's so much going on right now. I got my nails painted a different color this time. I had purple on yesterday. But, yeah, it's like all this stuff now. Everything's gonna come down to the wire. Hurry up, get this paperwork filed, get this done, get that done. Gotta have tests done. I gotta do all this, body prep before surgery. That's new. I haven't had to do that before. They give you these wipes and an instruction booklet. You gotta wipe your back. You gotta do this, that. Like, I don't remember if it's a week before surgery or start 2 weeks before. I don't remember, but I'll get into that at the end of the month. So, I don't have any word on grant money yet for paying the rest of Bubba's repair, but I'm not counting on it. I can pay for it at the end of the month. It's just that there's a program out there and I thought I'd try it. So the program was they were referred to me by the ADA. And the way that came about was I was having some really big issues with medical supply company. Not sending in my pre-authorization from my doctor to my insurance. Because the surgeon prescribed me a walker, okay? And said absolutely no wheelchair. However, I have a wheelchair already. Timing on this was so thrown off. I think that's what caused the problem. The wheelchair is prescribed to me by my cardiologist for my heart failure, and I don't use it as often as I did. However, I have to use it in the home here when I'm by myself. Other than that, I walk with my cane, which after surgery, will be walking with my walker. So 5 years is up. I'm supposed to get a new wheelchair. And medical supply said, oh no, they're not going to pay for that. Your doctor said blah, blah, blah. And I said, but my other doctor said, well, we're not sending it in. So there is no other medical supply in this area. So I even went as far as 4 hours away. And they're the only ones. So I reported them to the Better Business Bureau. I called the Attorney General of my state, and they gave me a department there that said that I had a case. So she was starting the case for me at the Attorney General's office. And there is a department there for medical issues, whether it be doctors or just anything like that. So I had my call into ADA. I had left a message. So this was in one day. I'm doing all this phone stuff. So after these phone calls and the report to the BBB, the medical supply headquarters from Minnesota called me and told me they were no longer going to do business with me because they had got notification that they were reported to the BBB. And when I went to report them, I wasn't the only one. There were several, more than 10 reports against them. So it wasn't just me. Well, so because they told me that, well, the Attorney General called me back, the lady in that department, and I said, oh, I was just getting ready to call you. They just called me and told me they were no longer going to do business with me. She said, well, that does make your case more difficult. Not that you wouldn't get anything out of it, but now that they've chosen to cut off relationship with you or refuse to do business with you, I said, well, that's fine. I said, let's just drop it. Now, she did say, however, if they contact you and want to do business with you, let me know. Well, the other day, they contacted me wanting to provide my CPAP supplies. Still debating on whether I should call the Attorney General back. I'm going to, the lady that called me about the supplies, refilling them, I had told her that their company refused to do business with me, yada yada. She looked it up, looked at my information, and she said, that's nowhere on here. So, do you want your supplies? I said, well, yes, of course I want my supplies, but I also want my wheelchair. And she said, well, here's a number to call. And what I would do if I were you is have your cardiologist contact the nurse and get your cardiologist to write a, I don't know which, a more stern letter that this is necessary and things like that. So I'm overwhelmed, guys. I've got all this stuff going on. My biggest hurdle right now is my my mental problems. I get overwhelmed really easily, and I gotta notice that my rent's past due, and it's just and my husband was he only worked 1 week in February, so trying to work things out there, trying to get my car back so I can make my appointments. I couldn't wait on the car. It was control arms. It was really starting to clatter into there, so that wasn't something I could let go. The original quote I got was almost $2,000. I found a mechanic to do it, parts and everything, for $945. So I went with that, and I put $460 down on it. And that's when this program I called the ADA during this whole wheelchair thing, and they told me about this place. I called this place. Well, they had come out. We had scheduled an appointment. They came out to see me, and it was a couple days after I had dropped my vehicle off. So we get to talking. They tell me about the programs they have and things, and they have people that will come visit with me, get me out socializing things. And about the vehicle, she said, I don't know if we do that or not. So anyway, shorten the story a little more. She was on her way back to the office, and she called the director and asked her and they were talking about it. So she called me back and said, my director said we can probably get that for you because you've already put up half of it. You've shown your intent to get this done, your intent to pay. We may be able to help you. So then today I called another place about getting help with my rent. Yeah, they just told me to bring my my awards letter, my Social Security income, oh, thing they give you at the end of the year, and my ID. So that will that will help, guys. Hey, let's do some makeup. I think tomorrow we've got a new Dollar General in town, and I've got a little gift card to use, so can't use it for anything else other than buying something. So I'm gonna try and see if I can find some new colors. I did find these new colors. Remember I started out with these. Okay. And when I went back to Walmart to buy more of these, I wanted like blues or, different shades, maybe greens. They didn't have them. They were all basically those tones. So I found these, and they look like crayons, but they're multi-stick, and they're really creamy when they go on. So I'm going to turn this other light on. I'll be right back. Now, it's not a flattering light, but it's brighter. So I'm not going to do anything fancy. It's late at night. But, I've lightened these up. I've worn them the way they are, which is pretty dark. So I'm sitting here thinking I'm going to combine two colors. Yeah. And I'm going to start with the purple on the bottom of my lid. This side's still pretty dark, light-wise. Oh, my eye doesn't want to cooperate. Looks pretty clumpy. Well, it's not clumpy, it's just kind of messy. That's how it starts. Then I'm thinking right above that I'm going to put this Calm Waters, it's called. It's like a good turquoise or aquamarine. And this stuff, you don't really gotta be heavy-handed. As you can see, it goes on pretty dark. And I just put the one line like that, and then I just start blending it. So, I don't know. This is new to me. I'm going to just try to blend it whichever way it goes. This one, that purple, really did not get down to my lid. My eyelashes, rather. What there is of them. Yes, this turquoise kind of overpowered that purple. try the purple again. This is fun. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. This eyelid is just not taking it. I wipe over and it's just a blank, like skin. Oh, we'll see. Try this again. Gosh, I really don't even want to touch it. Well, I guess that's alright. Just kind of pat it. That seems to be the technique for this stuff, is patting it. I mean, I can smear it where I want to. And it's really comfortable. Like, when I wear the powder, it seems to almost dry my skin more. It kind of gives me like this little burning sensation. So then I'll just go on the upper with the skin tones. I know they look brown in the camera, but they're not. Oh, let's see. Even there, it still looks really light, but you can tell it's more flesh tone than. That's how I do that. For my birthday, Cheryl brought me a nice bottle of, I think it's lavender body wash. And it's got the scrub inside of it. I don't know, whatever little nutshells or, gritty stuff they put in it. And a little, you call this thing, the scrunchies to use in the shower for your soap. Make it really sudsy. I don't buy those for myself because I'm really kind of particular what I put on my skin. And not necessarily into buying the big expensive creams and makeups and things, so I'm just careful. I try not to overdo it, and doing videos with you guys is the most I've ever worn makeup. Well, of course, when I was a teenager I wore it a lot, but that's what we do. Gosh, did any of you guys grow up in the 80s? As Gen Xers? Wasn't it fun? Gosh, couldn't wait to get my driver's license, couldn't wait to graduate high school. And my mom used to say, oh, you'll miss this, enjoy it while you can. I still don't miss it. I really don't. I have my memories from it. And I've learned to time travel. Do you know what that is? My dreams have gotten so vivid that I don't even notice. It's just like I'm there. Well, I think for the past 6 months, I keep dreaming about this house. And it's on a road in a city. Um, and it makes me think of where I used to live. That's that kind of city and that kind of street. And it's on a corner. No, it's in the middle of the block. And the area is wet like it just rained. And the yard is unkempt. And there's an alley that runs beside it. But then on the other side of the street, there's a cemetery. When I go into this house, you walk into the house and you can't really see what's past it because there's a stairway right there that goes straight up. And then you can kind of peek around the stairway to the right and there's a kitchen there, but you can't really see anything. So right away, I go upstairs. I have the feeling when I'm there that my husband and I own the house. And but I don't see the rest of the house. We just go upstairs. It's like work in progress up there. There's a kitchen at the front where it faced the front of the house, and then the other direction there's a living room, and we've also got a bed in there because that's also our bedroom. Well, that's how the dream was for a while. Then the dream changed and it's the same house, the same, but we can't, there's no stairs. And we have to go up this, I don't know how to get the description out of my mind. It's like you would see in construction, it's like 2x4s and things, but it comes up through the middle of the house as if you would be putting a fireplace in. It's about that wide and about that, it's tall like that. So we have to actually climb up that and then try and squeeze through the boards to get into the living space. And this happens night after night. And I'm finding it more and more difficult to get in and out of that tight place. And I'm telling my husband on the way up, I said, this is just getting too difficult. So we've got to find the stairs. Isn't that funny way to find the stairs? So anyway, I get out of this thing and I stand up and I look to the right and there's a whole new section to the upper half. And I says to him, well, look, there's a whole nother place here. I said, why don't we put our bedroom back here, have the living room in the middle, making all these suggestions. But nothing has progressed. The house pops up in my dream. Sometimes there's stairs. Sometimes we're going up that makeshift ladder. I don't know what to call it. And, things that have changed. Yes, there has been. It's windows. In the front of the kitchen, it was the window dressings. It was the curtains or the those kind of things change. My refrigerator changed in there. It's yellow. The freezer's on the bottom in one of them. The freezer's on top in another one. And it just goes on and on. Well, I went to a class that was affiliated with my church. Somebody came. They wanted to do a lecture on how to interpret your dreams through the Bible. And I learned that nobody else can interpret your dreams for you. But there is a universal guide we can use to kind of figure out what our dreams are supposed to mean. So this is just off the top of my head what I do remember. I don't have the thing right in front of me. I don't know if I have it anymore, but one of the things you do is, let's say you're afraid of snakes and there's snakes in your dream. So that would that would be telling you that you're fearful of something. Um, Maybe something coming up or something that happened or you're afraid might happen or whatever the fear might be. It's it's not about the snakes. It's about uh, what the things in your dream make you think of or feel. Okay, so another thing is that I remember is where are you positioned in your body? Are you in yourself, like normal, looking around? Or are you above yourself, looking down and watching your body move around? Um, that matters because if you're in your body, like you would be every day, and you're seeing things that way, um, the dream is directly about you. It's something to do with you personally. If you're above your body, oh shoot, what did that mean? Like if you're watching yourself go through it, oh my gosh, it means something else. It'll come to me in a minute, I'm sure. If you're, it depends on where you're located. If you're above your body, if you're standing there like you're a different person looking at yourself. Um, so your position in the dream means something. The activities in the dream, like stairs, can represent um, where you're at, where you feel you're at in life, or in a situation. Like I said, it's different for everybody, but these basic things are all kind of universal. Um, for instance, I love horses. Horses make me feel happy. So if there were horses in my dream and I'm in my body, I would take that as I'm happy. It makes me feel happy. I'm in myself. I'm directly involved in that, so I'm happy in my dream. Um, that's how I would dissect that. If this has happened, um, I've dreamt of dead animals, a dead horse, a dead dog, something, um, and it makes me feel sad. Or if I'm responding in a way that I wouldn't normally respond, like if that wasn't disturbing me, if I just kept going on and doing what I was doing, to me that would mean that whatever is bothering me, or let's say that's not a way to say it, my past is gone. Um, so it's not actually literally there's a dead animal or something's going to happen to my animal. No, the dreams usually have to do with what you're going through, um, what you've been through. It's a process of your brain and your subconscious dealing with things that you're not actively dealing with. Um, the closer I've gotten with God, the clearer my dreams have been to me. Um, let me see, how do I explain that? Some may say God spoke to me in a dream. Okay. To me, um, it's kind of an inside glimpse of what's going on. Um, because God does deal with us all very individually and very intimately. Um, that's why we don't interpret each other's dreams. But when I first started teaching my sister this, she would call me and say, "Oh, I had this dream and this happened and that happened." And I would ask her those questions. Where were you at in the dream? Were you in your body? And then she'd go, "Oh, now that you brought it up, no. I was like above everything looking down on it." So those things really helped her. So I wasn't telling her, this means that for you, this means that for you. I was giving her the tools of, normally this is what that means, or but not referring to her details, just referring to the position in her dream, what things represent to her. She had a spiral staircase. Well, how do you feel about a spiral staircase? Is that a really neat thing to you? Are you impressed by it? Do they worry you? And about once or twice a month, she would call me. Then she caught on. She started doing it herself. And then her phone calls changed to, "Oh my gosh, this works. This is what I did. This. And then we could talk about her actual, what she's going through. As she figured it out. So, yeah, don't try to interpret anybody's dreams. Don't throw in there saying what you think it is, because, like everything else, it's very personal to them. It's not about you or what you think it is. And that has helped me a lot. However, I don't know why this dream keeps coming back. I cannot decipher it using those tools yet. Evidently, it's something that I'm not dealing with or cannot deal with. The house represents to me safety. That's what a home means to me. It's permanent. It's where I live. Now, a staircase being there sometimes and not every time, and having to go in a difficult way, and sometimes not being able to get through in that way, or having very much difficulty in that. I'm not sure what that means yet. I don't know if it means I'm afraid of losing my home. I don't know. I don't know what that means to me yet. So some dreams are like that. They'll just keep coming back until you've worked through whatever it is you're supposed to work through. Um, I've talked it over with my husband. I've thrown away, around different ideas. He's supportive. He doesn't try and tell me what it could be. He just says, "Well, what about this?" Or what color were the curtains? Or asking me details. And when he does that, it gets me thinking even more and paying more attention to what I'm seeing in there, because sometimes there's a lot of furniture, sometimes there's not. But the house doesn't change, the wet ground doesn't change, the environment doesn't change. So I don't see any vehicles in the dream. I see a alley, I see a driveway, I see a garage. But it's like, it's almost in a fog, almost like the backyard's foggy. It's not the prominent thing in my dream. It's just there. I know it's there. Um, the um, the class that I took about interpreting dreams through the Bible, it wasn't just this guy talking about it. It's a whole, I guess there's a whole program on it or something. Like I said, there were some books with it. Um, I didn't buy the books, couldn't afford them. So maybe I should do that when I get off of here. Just look around in it now that I'm thinking about it again. Look it up online, see if it's there. Yeah, if it's something I have to purchase, well, I have to wait on that. But yeah, I thought that might have been an interesting topic. Um, found it fascinating. There's also a dream I had as a young child. I want to say probably pre-kindergarten even. And I still remember it. It was that vivid. And I was in a small room with no doors and no windows. But there was like a, I called it, I was a kid, I called it, there's a window at the top of the room, which now I would say that was a skylight, okay? And the room was filled with snakes. And I was terrified, and I was screaming, help, get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here. And I remember waking up. I remember going into my parents' room, waking my mom up. She got so ticked off at me because I woke her up, yelled at me to go back to bed. My dad woke up, and he got up and carried me back to my bedroom, and he used to do these things to me that just relaxed me so much. Well, he worked at the steel mill, so he was a welder. His hands were so rough, but he would have me just lay on my back, just lay still, and he would like trace my face with his fingers, and then he would just go down my arm and then down my leg, and I would just go to sleep. And that's one of the good memories of my dad. Yeah, he was my dad. I was his daughter. And I didn't have that dream anymore, but it was always there in my mind. Here I am 53 and it's still in my mind. And maybe you guys have something like that, just a dream that you had that you just can't get it out of your head. And this house thing that I keep having, I've never lived in the city. Well, I think I rented a couple apartments, but when I bought my house, it wasn't in the city. Growing up, I never lived in the city. We lived out on the outskirts. We had horses, nothing city life. So I'm not afraid of cemeteries, so I don't know what the cemetery represents to me. I don't know what the wet ground and everything, and the ground's wet to a point. I don't know if you've seen someone's property that has like big tree and then the ground's kind of lumpy, like when it gets wet it's like the ground kind of swells up. It's like that kind of a yard, and it's small. I don't know what that means to me yet either, so that's probably why I keep having the dream. I don't get it. Stairs don't represent anything to me. Kitchen. The kitchen is a place in the house where everybody in my family always congregated. In the house I grew up, the kitchen was the largest room in the house, so there was like a breakfast bar that came out, and some of us would sit at that, some of us would sit at the table. There was 5 of us, and we'd have our conversations, talk about what we were going to do for the day, catch up. Yeah, grandma's house, we just sat in the kitchen. So the kitchen to me would probably represent coming together, a family, good memories. I don't know. It just doesn't hit me as anything right now. So yeah, I think I'll get off of here and look that up. Maybe do a video about dreams. So all right, guys, subscribe, and everything's good. I'll talk to you later. Happy day.